Martin Shkreli just joined the fucking.
I saw that too. What's up, Martin?
What's up, guys? Everybody having a great day?
Jesus Christ.
What's similar?
Oh, nothing.
I would like to say that every time Martin Shkreli has come into an Alpha Coast space, there's been a new Donald Trump-esque coin coming out. So what is it? Just come out with it, Martin. Please.
That is a discussion for another day. For now, we're here to talk about the imminent demise of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, including Farcoin.
Where's people? I've heard enough.
See, I don't know if you guys know this, but these tokens aren't really backed by anything. They're all fake money. And I just figured this out the other day. I just sold everything and I shorted. I was like, how could I possibly be long this stuff? I don't know. Did that occur to anybody else?
I have a question on that, Martin.
Yes.
So, following Nixon taking us off the gold standard, by us, I mean the U.S., taking us off the gold standard in 71, right? The U.S. dollar is no longer backed by gold, right? It's backed really by the U.S. military. So I look at crypto and I see it as backed by kilowatt hours, and ultimately just blind confidence.
You can't redeem those kilowatt hours, right?
No, I mean, there's not a system currently set up to do that.
There might be in the future.
That's an idea that I've had.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the argument that Bretton Woods is over, therefore this is just as stupid as fiat, is probably not a good argument because, two wrongs don't necessarily make a right. I mean, if somebody started chopping off their right arm,
That's not what I meant, by the way.
if somebody started chopping the right arm with the hatchet and I started doing it with the scissor, I'm not any less stupid or more stupid than the next guy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just stupidity either way. You do want money backed with something real, ideally, but there's issues with that as well. But there's a lot of other things in crypto that are trying to back money with real assets, and those actually may be better than Bitcoin. But anyway, I just think it's been very frothy, and Bitcoin can drop to like say 95 or 90 or even 75 or something like that, and then maybe it's along then. But right now, between Farcoin, between quantum computing, between even something like DJT, Truth Social's valuation, all this stuff just shows that like the market's gone crazy. There's a company called Quantum Corp. Okay, the stock was at 3. It's at 62 right now. And it's just because their name is Quantum Corp. They actually don't even do quantum computing at all. So,
It's like Long Island blockchain or whatever it is, Lemonade.
Yeah, so it's really funny the amount of frothiness. It's almost like people have too much money and maybe the Fed should raise rates. And the SBR thing, I was one of the first people to come up with this idea and pitch it to the administration. And I think now that everybody's talking about it, it's been consensus for months. The only thing that could happen is it could disappoint us. I mean, it's the fact that Saylor's buying tons of Bitcoin. It's not helping the price of Bitcoin. It's not helping his stock price. That's not good either. So I'm pretty bearish for now. And of course, things can change easily and quickly. But I certainly wouldn't be levered long at the top of Bitcoin here.
So question for you, do you hold any spot crypto right now?
I don't hold Bitcoin.
Okay, so probably meme coins. I don't know, bro.
I don't really hold bean coins either, no.
Oh, so you don't have any money.
I didn't say that.
What are you
He's
bullish
being
on?
careful with what he's saying right now.
Okay, not what your holdings are, but what are you bullish on?
I don't think there's anything to be bullish on right now. I mean, I think price is the most important thing when it comes to any asset, so at the right price, at the right situation, I'd be bullish on lots of things. But right now, like Bitcoin isn't a good value at $100,000. Like everybody's long and everybody's going to take pain for the next however long it takes before people start getting disgusted with it. Like the euphoria, has gotten to a fever pitch where even politicians are starting to get bullish on Bitcoin. And I think that's it's not going to last. MicroStrategy is even crazier, right? MicroStrategy is like just total crackhead behavior. And, once this correction comes, as it's happening before our eyes, then wash out some of the crap in the space and the crap in the stock market, and then we can be bullish again. And maybe it'll be something like a Monad or some other like latest generation, chain that is superior to Bitcoin. Like, so look at Solana. I mean, Solana was such a monster home run for early investors and early token buyers. Like, we could see that kind of dynamic again, where one day we will get a multi-$100 billion chain, and the best technology should win. And I think that the Sol meme coin explosion is a really good example of, hey, this is a fast chain, it's easy to deploy. There's a lot of drawbacks to Solana, but people like it and it works. And I think that that's a huge thing to be bullish on. So I hope that someday we do get another chain that solves all these problems. And I don't know what it's going to look like or what it is. Maybe it's Aptos or Sui or a Sui, I don't know, or whatever the next generation stuff that's, I'm sure, Paradigm and A16Z are working on, or some other random person that's not going to get any VC funding is working on. But that's, I think, going to be like something real, something really tangible. Stuff like Farcoin is, it's just an attention zero-sum game that's
in the wind.
Yeah, it'll be here today, gone tomorrow.
But I mean, the market's never wrong. Like, I don't know. Like, bro, this shit's being evaluated at around $1 billion market cap. Like, people are actually willing to pay that price, which is insane to me. And like, a lot of the crypto shit already is like, bro, like, people would much rather bet on these meme coins than shit that's backed by like utility or has some sort of use case in this space. And like, it's worked out over and over again for the most part. Like, I don't know, bro, a lot of the prices in the space are inflated. Like, I can say that, but like, I don't know. I think you're overthinking it, Shkreli. Like, I'm not.
Didn't work out for NFTs.
Martin, I'd say you're right on the money. I'd say, going back to your point, two wrongs don't make a right? So this dislocation of pricing is kind of curious to me. Personally, I think there's going to be a correction Q2 25 in the equity market, partially due to the transfer of wealth from boomers down to Gen X and millennials and last price theory and how sort of that works. I'd also be curious to hear your thoughts on the dislocation of pricing in private markets currently, specifically infrastructure and specifically industrial and manufacturing real estate.
Yeah, so I invited Shkreli about his fucking, I don't know, he's been very public about like his short on Farcoin, which I did want to kind of speak on, because I thought it was overinflated at 400 fucking mil market cap. I thought it was overinflated at fucking 6, 7. I ended up buying at 877 mil market cap, brother. Like, I got caught in the fucking wind, ended up buying, because I was like, bro, this could potentially go to zero, but I know the game I'm fucking playing by getting into this instead of being sold some vaporware fucking dream on the next fucking altcoin or the next utility fucking coin or the next fucking blockchain. Like, bro, you can actually bet on attention in this space, whether it's the meme coins or whatever else, NFTs. Like, you can bet on community and people who are around. And I think, I don't know, that's what makes this space what it is, brother. Like, I do value your opinion. Like, yeah, invited you for that reason. But I don't know, bro. I think you could maybe be wrong, could be fucking right, never fucking know.
Wait,
but
when did you short Farcoin?
There's no real way to short it. Is one of the problems. So I opened my old MEXC account. I go in there ready to go guns blazing, and it says $2,500 max short position, and I'm sitting there like, oh man. I even got a VPN ready. But once it's on something like Binance or whatever, even Binance will limit your short size. So like, this isn't a fair market. It's up because it's degen to degen markups. And at the end of the day, when like it's traded 24 hours, 130 million, there are 100 hedge funds in New York City that if I pitch them, if I can get you 50 million short Fartcoin, they would be so thrilled. They would sign up immediately because they can buy shares, $50 million worth of shares of $1 billion company that actually does something. Like, it's actually valuable. And if it's a $50 billion hedge fund, look, unless Farcoin's going to be worth $50 billion, they'll sit and wait, and eventually it'll go to zero, and they can hedge with, other sort of things. So whatever factor of like Farcoin's insanity, they can mimic by, say, being long a Palantir or being long like some other like insanity. They can hedge out that factor and just get pure Farcoin alpha, which, again, maybe the people behind Fartcoin will like do really well. Somebody should do some diligence on this. I don't know who's behind it or who has a lot of the supply, but it doesn't feel to me like this is just sort of today's MOG or tomorrow's, everyone here has seen these come and go, right? It's got today's attention, but will it persist and, be the, where are all these things going to go? In a recession, I think people will sell their WIF. People will sell their, all of their tokens that are just sort of not exciting. Like I was short WIF for a while. WIF has been down quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, and it's certainly down from its all-time high. So, it's every time something like Fartcoin's exciting, well, something like WIF money goes from something like WIF to Fartcoin, and WIF goes down. So WIF is down, a ton over the last, a month or so. WIF was 350, now it's 230. That's a huge loss, and obviously some of that money went to Fartcoin. And can this sustain itself? Well, in a recession where you need to pay for medical bills, you need to pay for your rent, you might look at your dog with hat and say, you know what, maybe I don't need this. Maybe I need cash to pay my rent. And people will swap. And if Bitcoin drops to 40,000, you might say, you know what, I really want to buy Bitcoin, but I'm stuck with, meme coins that are down 90%. I think today's market, stock market and crypto, both show you that like there are times when assets just go down in price for like months or even years. There were 3 years where 2000, 2001, 2002, and most of 2003, where stock prices just went down every single day. And it was just a bear market every day, and it just made people miserable and they quit. So Bitcoin's been great, crypto's been great, and the good times have to come to an end at some point. I hate, people can hate me for saying that, but I just, think, at least have that in the back of your mind. Even if you're super bowled up, at least think about it.
Bullish indicators though, Shkreli, like we have a super majority that's coming into office very fucking soon. Like Trump is coming into fucking office. Like, bro, there's all these bullish indicators that I genuinely cannot, at least maybe for a few things you can be bearish on, but like for the most part, it's looking bright for the future of crypto for the most part.
I did hear a rumor that Fartcoin is collecting farts to put on the blockchain, so that could be.
I don't know. I did want to ask you though. It's looking overly bullish. Like why?
Well, that's the consensus. In fact, when the consensus is overly bullish, that's a great time to be bearish because there's nothing good that can happen that surprises anyone to the upside. Everyone's long, because they think Trump's going to do an SBR and Trump's going to be friendly to crypto. Trump doesn't give a fuck about crypto. He gives a fuck about getting elected. Now that he's elected, I don't know how many promises he's going to break. This is his last election. And I don't know how tight this Doge and government...
Do you think he goes for a third term?
No, I don't think he goes for a third term, and I think that...
Still talking about crypto, though. He could stop talking about it after he got elected.
I don't think he's talking too much about it, and I think that once Congress... Yeah, I don't know if the reserve will work or not, but I do think Congress has to actually show that it's willing to do what he says, which, the idea that all these politicians in D.C. are going to hold hands and do stuff is a little bit... I wasn't born yesterday. Every politician that's promised me something over the years has lied about it, and maybe this will be the one time. I think what you can expect from D.C. is that they're not going to go after, like the SEC did, after NFTs. They're not going to call these things securities. They're not going to police it, and that's bullish enough, right? Like that's good enough. I don't think they're going to roll out the red carpet for crypto. And then I also think that paradoxically, crypto was made in the fire of 2008 when we needed like a new form of money. There's quite possible that the entire monetary system was going to collapse. So we came out with Bitcoin, and today, if Doge and the government rights itself, you could argue that that's a less marginal incentive for crypto, that I'm less interested in crypto when there's less inflation, when there's a better government, when there's a better balance sheet on the government in terms of deficit spending and things like that, and there's less regulation. Well, I need crypto when the government inflation is out of control, when the spending's out of control, when there's nobody smart in the office. That's when I need crypto. I need crypto when they're spying on me and they're putting people in jail for no reason. That's when Bitcoin comes in handy. If everything's going to go back to normal, what's the propensity, my marginal propensity for Bitcoin kind of drops, and all other cryptos for that matter. And maybe I just want regular money now if I'm not going to be bullied about it and it's going to be relatively stable and not too inflationary. That's just marginally less interesting to be in Bitcoin. I don't get the pitch nearly as heavy as I do, other than Saylor trying to force it under everyone's hands and kind of looking like a weirdo, if you ask me. It just doesn't, like, listening to him talk about Bitcoin just doesn't sort of add up. And I think that it's almost like this desperation blow off top. And he did exactly this in 2000. History is a funny thing. In the peak of 2000, he was like the hottest .com that crashed to get down to earth. It'd be sad if it happened again. But, he's borrowed money with debt to the point where if Bitcoin drops, he's tempting fate that he gets margin called and liquidated. And everyone here in this room, I'm sure, has been liquidated once or twice on Binance or KuCoin or something like that. And, this guy is, basically daring the market to liquidate him. And every time you do that, you tend to eventually get liquidated. And so I feel like that's a really scary, dumb thing. And markets can go down for 10, 20, 30 years. People thought the stock market would never go down. The stock market would be down for 18 years in a row. It was flat for 18 years in the 80s. Never went up until 18 years of digestion happened. That's enough lifetime for you to quit crypto. A lot of people quit crypto after one bad experience. Tell me you're going to be long Bitcoin for 18 years and just holding it. I'm a true believer. It's easy to be a true believer when Bitcoin goes from 30K to 100K. It'll make anyone a true believer. Will you be a true believer if it goes from 100K to 30K? That's going to be a lot harder.
Where do you think Bitcoin's at the end of the cycle?
Here, real quick, we got a couple of hands I want to go to, and then we'll ask these questions. But I wasn't bullish on fucking BTC. I ended up buying at 24K. But what is good, Oshimori? And then we'll go Rasmer. What is good?
Hey, what's up again, Shkreli? Thanks, Alpha. Dude, I like how we just glossed over the whole DJ2 comment. That was funny. But Martin, I really want to...
Which DJT? I'm short the Truth Social.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest shorts, yeah. That's the DJT that trades on the stock market.
To be honest, man, I've been doing pretty well with the counter trade Martin strategy. I don't know if I'll switch that up.
Were you long cassava?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. You should do that. You should do all my biotech ones. You'll be filthy rich. Don't worry.
No, let's get to my question. We'll talk trading later. Dude, you're saying a lot of different things, a lot of which I agree with. I think that it's always good to be pragmatic, especially in these times where everybody, we live in an echo chamber where everybody's bullish, right? You gotta always think about the other side, right? You're bringing up a lot of good points, but I want to know what is it that you believe for the long term, for the rest of the cycle, for the years to come. What is it that you think is likely to happen? Because we can talk about what ifs all you want, but at the end of the day, man, because like Alpha said, we have a lot of bullish signs. We have a lot of, and like you said, at the end of the day, just the GOP being in power is bullish enough for crypto. That's all we really need.
Yeah, but we ran from 70K to 100K as it happened. So it's not like it happened in a vacuum.
For sure. It's that pretty early. We've had a lot of other bullish things that happened earlier.
It's all baked in the price now. Everybody knows about it. So like the only thing that could happen is if politicians are actually not telling the truth, which would apparently shock everyone, that crypto would sell off if that happened. Well, I'm betting that politicians aren't telling the truth, one. And then I'm betting that, all this bullish sentiment's gone. I can't sit here and tell you that what's going to happen to any asset price 10 years from now. Like, especially if that is such a weird asset like Bitcoin, where it's not based on cash flow, it's just sort of this like money flow and sentiment thing. Like tomorrow, there could be something that blows your mind and my mind 100x the way Satoshi blew people's minds. And we don't even know what it is. And it could come out and then I could say, wow, this kills Bitcoin. That hasn't happened yet. It may never happen, but it could happen literally today. And I'd have to change my mind. So that's why predictions are really hard to make. I'm willing to short $10, $20 million of Bitcoin right now and then cover, when 95K or 90K and then, make some money and move on and just keep reassessing the situation, being flat on my feet and not, over leveraged and pig-headed and, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million no matter what. Like that's kind of, around the Bitcoin 2024 conference, we were sort of planning this with Trump and we were praying that Trump would give a speech and come to the conference in the first place. He did. And then we're also hoping that he'd come out and say, hey, we were hoping Elon would come too, by the way. And we were also hoping that Trump would come out and say, I pledge that upon election, I will force the US government to buy $10 billion of Bitcoin or $100 billion of Bitcoin or whatever it was. He didn't say that. And I was there. I was planning it. I was helping plan this whole thing. And it didn't work out. He didn't say that. Cynthia Lewis said it, but Cynthia Lewis isn't Trump. And, when Trump goes in front of Congress and does it, look, Trump's done a lot of things over the years where he says X and then, 2 years pass and you say, it's not the time. It's not the perfect time. I need to use my political capital on something else. And just don't be surprised when you might hear that. And, what happened to my SBR? The political capital had to be used to fix taxes, and I just don't have the political capital to push forward a Bitcoin SBR. Good luck next cycle. And you're sitting there like, I donated $1 million to this guy for no reason. And if you've been around politics, that's how it goes. They lie to you. You walk out of the room thinking you're the smart guy. The politician walks out of the room knowing that he just fleeced you. So hundreds of millions of dollars get donated to these guys and they don't do anything. So I feel like, we're being played for fools if we think the catalyst is the government's going to buy our bags from us at double this price. Like, that's crazy talk.
Again, I think we had this conversation another time in a different space. I don't think that, or I'm not going to count on, a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I'm open to it happening if I see signs of it, but I'm not counting on any politician keeping their promises. That being said, you seem a little bit jaded, to be honest, which is fair given your whole story.
No, it's not that. It's we've gotten a huge price increase in Bitcoin for a long time, and it's a gigantic asset to the point where even Sailor can't move it. So, it feels toppy to me. All this good news, SBR, Sailor buying billions. We're not breaking out. Everyone kind of thought once we would break through 100, that 125 would be the next stop, right? 150 would be the next stop right away. Bitcoin kind of feels heavy to me as a trader. Like, it's just like,
No, but it just broke over 100 though, so maybe in 3 months we could reassess. I don't know.
Sounds like hope to me.
And yeah, like Raspberry said, bro, we were literally at 60K pre-fucking election, and now we ran up to 100K. We're seeing new highs a couple every week, which is insane. I don't know. Back in the bear when I was buying at 24 fucking K, I wasn't expecting 100K numbers within a year and a half. Bro, I don't know, it's outperformed literally everything in the world. Any asset. I mean, not
the only thing that matters is what does it do from here?
Yeah, that's true. What's good though, Raz? You've had your hand up. Good to have you, fam.
Shkreli, bro, you're kind of my go, bro. But I have a really important question as the resident, person on stage from the Los Angeles, collective. I just need to ask if you've seen anything about the AI agent movement within crypto, AI 16Z agent frameworks, GoCoin, Zerabro. If you have any thoughts on that as a high-level genius such as yourself.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's all pretty cringe and just another way for people to speculate. If you look at quantum computing, there's these stocks there's this one company, QUBT, which was literally getting ready to file for bankruptcy, and their stock's up 20x. I mentioned the quantum hard drive, the tape drive company, that has nothing to do with quantum computing. They just have a name that they thought was cool, sounds futuristic. They actually made this name in the 80s. They decided to call their company Quantum Corp, and they've never done a single thing in quantum computing, but the stock went up 50x, or roughly 20x, because of just the association with Google made an announcement about quantum computing. Even Google's announcement was bullshit, but it made the whole sector go crazy. And we're seeing this over and over again. There's a company called SoundHound that did an acquisition that made their numbers go up, and SoundHound stock has gone up 5x. DJT stock.
Yeah, it's a fire name, by the way.
Yeah, it's a fine product, but it's 5-6x overvalued. DJT, Truth Social stock has been really great. Huge market cap. They're supposed to be pivoting to crypto any day now. There's all this crap out there that's just overvalued. And if you can come out with A16Z coin or AI16Z and also come out with Farcoin, the ultimate collective market cap of Solana shitcoins at some point will implode on itself, because the cost to create one costs nothing. The cost to get your attention costs something, but your attention is limited, right? You can only own you have $50,000 to put in shitcoins. Well, I sold my dog with hat. Dog with hat is down 32% this month. That's a dog, literally. And instead you could be long AI16Z, or you could be long, maybe Fartcoin. But the people that own dog with hat are literally bag holders, especially the people that bought it over the last month. Over the last month, it's traded billions of dollars, and everyone that's bought it over the last month is a huge bag holder today. And so you are just moving the bag holder to the eventual Fartcoin bag holder. There will be Fartcoin bag holders in the next however long it takes, but eventually, just like dog with hat, it'll be down a bunch. And just like other meme coins we can't even remember, they'll be down as much when the attention fades. And attention is a fleeting thing. It's hard to keep getting attention. Imagine all these other meme coins.
But Fartcoin is like a meme coin that's kind of like a silly meme. It does have AI origins, but it's more about like the Fartcoin meme itself. Whereas like AI16Z has a team building swarms on the internet, and there's like kind of like AI thesis behind it, with like AI investment money potentially coming in to this sector. So I feel like I would like that. That's kind of like how I feel like I would separate that from WIF as well. And like AI being such a big industry that's getting so much money like invested in it right now, the narrative for AI crypto just like feels strong to me. If you're bullish on crypto at all.
I mean, I just feel like there are AI companies. I have this list on my GitHub of 1,400 AI companies. They're almost all shorts that are going bankrupt. So, OpenAI is doing great. But if you talk to people putting money to work in AI, there's new codes coming out every day. But look at the companies that even Midjourney is sucking wind right now. Like most of the companies that get started in AI in the last 5 years are going bankrupt. And it's just not a fantastic space. Crypto doesn't make any sense to combine with AI. It's just not a rational thing. There's no overlap between the two. I know people are trying to force that narrative, but it really is just oil and water. Maybe you can get an agent to do tweet. Like that gets boring pretty quickly, and anybody can do it. It takes a very, very humble programmer to sit there and put out code that can do this. And every time somebody tries to force fit this narrative, it really doesn't end up with any users. We know that from the IONET expose I did and other I think obvious crypto AI failures. Once there's an OpenAI type app that's crypto native, then wake me up. But for now, I think that this stuff is speculators just to speculate and to hope and pray that somebody lifts them out of their position at a higher price. And there's no actual fundamental reason why AI and crypto make any sense together. I mean, decentralized trading is one thing that people are hoping and praying to do, but that's not as exciting as maybe the meme and the perception of making noise about AI. But eventually noise must give way to progress, and we don't see that. People at OpenAI or Anthropic or Google or Meta, they don't care about crypto. Any serious AI person, if you ask them, what's the intersection with crypto? They're going to look at you funny, like, did you misspeak? Like, what do you mean? What's the intersection with crypto?
There's people building AI agents on chain to transact in DeFi and be profitable and stuff. Isn't that pretty fucking sick? The next,
well, quant funds have been
AI companies do that.
Quant funds have been around forever. So there's crypto, MEV bots, and there's crypto trend following, and there's crypto arbitrage. That is an agent, right? It's just called quantitative investing. So, if you can program an agent that makes money, you will make lots of money. There are people remember that guy, who's the guy from the subway, Jared, the Jared Mevbot? That guy made a fortune. And there's plenty of other Mevbots that nobody knows about that are from guys like Jump Trading or Jane Street or whatever, and they quit their job at the big hedge fund and they sit there and program, and their Mevbot steals a little bit of ETH from you every time you trade ETH, and they make a fortune, and it's fantastic for them. But that's what an agent is. An agent doesn't need to talk to anybody. And for it to be autonomous, well, what's there to do on chain that other than speculate? I mean, as of now, there's not a whole lot.
Well, the thing is though,
injection of funds rather than going to VC. AIs are expensive to run, so why not use crypto to gain funding rather than having someone control your project? Was it your project? Am I mistaken? It was not AI. It was just GPUs.
Yeah, I mean, we shut it down because nobody used it. I'd much rather have something that people organically are using, when the instead of like just go hawk it, go shill it nonstop, and that's just such an ugly thing to do. You'd rather people do it and use it because they like it and it's useful, and we tried it and it didn't work and we moved on. And that's what a business does. It doesn't sit there and say, well, let me force feed people this even though they don't want it. Let me feed them a narrative that's bullshit, that I know nobody actually uses this or likes it, but I'm going to feed them this thing anyway. And it's just not an honest thing to do. And I feel like
that's the thing with the market right now. You said that people really don't care for a long time, but it's intriguing the entire community for months right now. Also, the thing with all these other AIs is that people do engage with them, have conversation in the DMs, and that the cool part of like them launching tokens and shaping a whole culture around it while people are interacting with AI are concepts that work, and they gain more hype than getting even less,
And the AI is not just about chatting or tweeting. Like, there's actually AIs that are building legit products. So I just think it's like a great way for them to find the funding and do what they want, be decentralized and not be controlled by VCs. So why not?
Well, something Martin said too about I exchanging that they will ultimately be working for you in a sense. You can have these agents go out and either trade for you or do tasks for you, think like Fiverr, things like that. But it's all done via AI and agents. And I think what people are overlooking right now is the fact that it's really easy to just use a smart contract. Now that agent can accept any number of tokens, coins, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to start to see an agent to agent economy almost start happening. Through just these agents that are money for you, keeping a percentage, converting it as they see fit, trading it with other agents to work inside agentic systems essentially.
Yeah, Martin, everybody has their own idea with it, but how do you, as an investor, separate what you think is going to pump with what you actually believe is going to have important real world utility? Because you almost don't even have to believe that the AI coins are going to be important at all. You just have to believe that money is going to rotate in that direction.
Right. I mean, there's a word for that.
Going on thread guy spaces saying they're talking to funds, funds are interested, right? There's talk happening about this. So it's how am I supposed to ignore that as a crypto guy? I don't even know if it's actually going to be important. But
I think actually my friend Zintani every now and then says something smart, which is rare for her, but every now and then she says that, I love her to death, but she says that, I buy when there's blood in the streets and I sell when everyone's partying and excited. And I think that is a very reasonable way to do things. And when people are sick of Bitcoin, they don't want to hear about it, don't even say that to me, I lost so much money on that, that's when it sounds like you should go long and max leverage long. When people are like, this is the future of money, that every company in America should have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I'm going to leverage up and borrow money in risk bankruptcy to buy Bitcoin. That's crazy. And that's the time to let me take my chips off the table and move on. In terms of the AI talk, look, I'm all for it. Everybody should build something like that, but it should be useful to my brother and sister who don't care about crypto, my mom, and so forth. That would be exciting. It's in this zero-sum game of PvP. Yeah, you have to grab the attention of somebody else and often lie to get their attention, which is a line I won't cross. But people will cross and they'll lie and spam and do whatever it takes to get attention. Anytime you send a tweet, there's 50 responses that have, buy this token or buy that token, you're missing my token, and folks get really devious about how they market them. But ultimately, that I'd rather be invested in something that can have a multiplying compounding effect because people actually use it than, okay, this might steal some attention from Dog with Hat. But how does the guy who bought Dog with Hat that doesn't hear about the next big thing, whether it's an AI agent or Fartcoin, how does that guy feel when he's down 40, 50%? When he took you out of your Dog with Hat position, but he's sitting there holding the bag. That's a guy you need in the future. Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to say a few things. First, I wanted to thank Alpha for hosting this space. Thank you for being here. I want to thank God for Martin so much and giving me so little. Next, I have a question for you. With this mania, with Fartcoin,
see a lot of red candles. So, I'm hoping that it just keeps bleeding, and half the people in this room quit crypto. They sell everything for the scraps that are left, and they say, fuck this, I'm out. And then the real true believers are still there with capital and say, okay, let's pick up the pieces and let's move on.
Kanye West farts. Kim Kardashian farts. Everybody farts sometimes.
There was jokes like this about other tokens, and Andrew Tate even used the hard R to promote his token. And I haven't even checked his prices, but I assume they're all at zero. It's pretty hard to sustain attention. I mean, fart jokes are great, but look, it might be the one that gets away, the one that really. True. Dogecoin has.
And everybody still follows Bitcoin.
And look, like, they're just, here's the thing, trying to convince, like, the average person to buy, like, or they go on fucking Coinbase and they see, like, Stella Laments. What the fuck is that? Like, all this shit, right? Like, this is the one where it's like, you don't have to understand anything. And I think, like, it's beautiful, like, we talked about it before, like, we all think the boomers are gonna buy, the boomers all think that we're gonna buy, which results in just everyone buying.
No, there's no doubt, like, you can keep adjusting for Memetic Fitness, and that evolutionary adjustment will happen over and over again until you have these ideal coins. But what happens to the coin that you just dumped? Maybe I should be short that. Like, I was short dog with hat for a while, and this is a token that could very well go to 1, and it's so out of the.
That's like quitting the market because there's so many scammers in the room.
Thanks, Mark.
Yo, what's up, Martin? I heard you were talking about Mania. You were saying something comparing it to Bitcoin. Could you, like, I feel like Bitcoin is like the holy coin. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. Could you maybe just share, like, how you came to that conclusion?
Bitcoin's the holy coin to you? Why is that?
Because it's Lindy and it sparked the entire industry.
I think Lindy is hard to assign for something that's just 16 years old.
I know, it has a little attention, especially as, like, crypto becomes more normalized to, like, institutions.
Maybe, we don't know. It's too early to tell. I mean, the future holds lots of surprises, and what's Lindy today, maybe, not so Lindy tomorrow. And I think, so far that's been right, and Bitcoin's been dominant, and it's had great dominance. But as I said earlier, the unknown is we can't today sit here and conjure in our minds something that's so cool and so amazing that it's better than Bitcoin is the Bitcoin killer. But someone might do that. I'm not creative enough. I don't know. I don't think Alpha's creative enough. But there's some future Satoshi out there that's going to come up with something that is so amazing that we sit here and say, wow, this was it all along, and we totally messed it up. And so things that are Lindy today might just look, trite and old tomorrow. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's going to be Monad or not. But I think that, somebody's going to try to keep doing this. And every single day that, Paradigm is in business, which I hope will be forever, they're going to keep trying to come out with a better Bitcoin. And that's their job. And, what it does and what it looks like and all this stuff, I have no clue because I'm just not that creative. But I do think that. Yes.
Yeah, so I agree with you. And if anything, I reflect on right? Like it since its linearness. But I'm just curious, what is it about Mania that you, in particular, you think is like that contender?
No, I don't have any specific view that is that specific to that one or any other one. There's a lot that are in the works that are like in testnet and have raised hundreds of millions and will soon be out. And the question is, will any of these gain any traction whatsoever? Well, Solana found a way. There is a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. I don't have to worry about it though. I could just sit back and wait. And if one of them takes hold, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And Bitcoin does feel like kind of this old inferior technology that is people sort of like have changed the story about why to be bullish on Bitcoin from it's the future of money to it's just really Lindy and like we're going to pay for it even if I can't actually use it to replace the monetary system. I'm going to be bullish on it because other people are bullish on it, and to me that's insanity.
Bitcoin's like form equals dysfunction. Like by definition, there can never be like quite exactly another Satoshi Nakamoto with the exact tokenomics and the exact distribution. Like it can never actually be replicated. Even like if a fucking L1 pops off and becomes the future of like transactions and shit, like the next MasterCard, like it's still not going to be Bitcoin. Like it's quite literally something that's like unique and irreplicable.
Yeah, the first amazing digital art, the first amazing lithography. Every single thing has a first time. There's a first programming language. Ultimately, we do use improved versions of technology. Bitcoin's still technology, and technology improves itself. And I think that there are going to be better blockchains. There probably already are. And ultimately, that may take market share away from Bitcoin. I think it's funny when Saylor points to gold or points to something else and assumes like, okay, I can have that whole market cap. Well, wait a second. Why should Bitcoin have every dollar of that? Even today, Bitcoin doesn't have 80 or 90% of crypto. And over time, by definition, since day one, at least, Bitcoin has had less than 100%. And it's completely conceivable that Bitcoin dominance drops to some low number over the years. And I think part of that is technology. People, for example, love Solana because you can deploy on it really quickly. Bitcoin will never have that. Remember when people tried with runes or things like that? It didn't work. Runes are dead. People are still launching meme coins on Solana.
You heard a dog, bro?
Also, bro, you never came in the first 2 minutes of the space. You're like, oh, it's superior game, like that, take BTC. But I mean, bro, you said it, not me. I think that's for the joke. I feel you though, Martin. I feel that 100%. But it's a lot to keep in consideration. I'm looking forward to see how it happens. Also, I'm looking forward to it. Just because. No, of course, just because. So Raspberry pinned up this tweet, and I did want to tap into it, just kind of read it off. Nancy tweeted it out a couple months ago. Once market realizes they aren't meme coins, but are software companies with their own attention bootstrapping mechanisms in a new vertical, then the relative comps get much higher. Replace KOLs with a jailbroken AI with its own specific instruction set that learns in public, which is, I don't know, it makes sense for the most part. Did you want to tap into that, Rasmus, real quick before we tap into the hands?
Yeah, I mean, this is about the AI coins. Basically, like for example, the Cerebro, it's like an account, it's an AI agent, but then also they're expanding and they have this like framework that other people will be able to use for their own agents. So it's like it's really like they're an AI startup at this point, and they use the primary agent, which is the Cerebro account, to, as Anson puts it, bootstrap attention online for the startups. So I don't know if you have thoughts on it, but
Me?
yeah.
I feel like every contrivance possible will be used to get attention, right? So whether it's that kid that rugged everyone on Twitch, or somebody who locked themselves in a cage before they could be released for their token, like whatever it takes will be done. Using software to do it is great, but you have to realize that like the amount of attention that we have to do any of this, it's cool for day one, it's cool for day two, and then eventually you have to ask yourself, are you actually truly entertained by this? Talking to LLMs isn't that fun. Having LLMs bootstrap attention is harder than it sounds. They're just not that creative, they're not that interesting, they're not that funny. Maybe one day they will be, but it's also one of these things where do you want to be part of an internet that's all machines and a couple of people? Going back to the old theme that there's no women on the internet. So I don't know, I feel like that doesn't speak to me as like, okay, this is the future. I think I'd rather do something like real world application, hard asset backed stuff, things like that sound a little more interesting. They're less sexy, I guess, but because we all want to hit 100x or 1000x, and every time a fart coin does that, we get all excited and hot and bothered that, oh, maybe I can turn $1,000 to 100,000 or 50,000 into 5 million because or more because it happened with fart coin, so it could happen to me, and it's just becomes a merry-go-round and hot potato, and whatever contrivance that people can create with whatever new technology that might come out, it's really taking the technology and like warping it to fit into crypto, and it's a very obviously unnatural fit. I've been pitched like all kinds of like very strange like crossovers, and everyone wants to make free money because the supply of these things doesn't cost anything. And there's a huge school of thought outside of crypto where actually building valuable things by definition must require capital. Like you cannot build a beverage company without at least making a plant that can make beverages. Like it costs millions of dollars to build that plant. People might like your drink, they might hate your drink, but you actually have to put money down. Whereas anybody can make crypto, it takes a little blood, sweat, and tears, and you can try to get your coin out there. So that when you have an infinite supply, you know what happens to price. Whereas if you make something that has a moat because you've actually put money in the ground and you've actually built something that cost you tons of money, then you could say, well, this guy put 5 million into this thing or put 10 million into this thing. There's at least something there. And again, I just keep pointing at dog with hat. This is a meme that's now second hat, no pun intended. It's second tier. It's less exciting. People don't care about it that much. That's why it's down 35%. And Fartcoin is up 1,000% because we're moving from hot potato to hot potato. And the question is, can you keep up? Can you be plugged in enough with the Ansems of the world or other people like that where you're picking up their scraps, buying their bags, helping them get out of their things, and that you can hopefully get the ride by being connected to somebody or by being, proximal to somebody or watching them closely, and you get off from sinking ship to sinking ship to sinking ship. I don't like that. I mean, at some point, you're going to be the guy sinking in the sinking ship. And I feel like, I'm not plugged in enough to be on every single rising ship. People call me to buy tokens when they've already loaded up. And I feel like, playing this game where I'm going to be your exit liquidity and I'm going to hold your bag is not something that I like to do. I'd much rather hold something that actually has a story that's going to last forever. Some of these things you've mentioned, they're better than no story. They're better than nothing. Again, these agents, for example, they sound cool, but is it something that's going to really possess people? Will it be here in 5 years? I doubt it. Again, every now and then you get a dog with hat. Otherwise, a Doge, or we wouldn't even be having this discussion. There would be no discussion about this because everyone wants that second Doge or the third Doge or whatever it is. And so far, there are not many of them, given the supply of millions of these things that we come out with every day. There's people, as we all know, in fact, most people here, I do it every now and then. We sit down and say, gee, how do I get this community to give me money? How do I make something that they're gonna love? And we all will try, and some of us succeed, most of us don't. And the one or two people that do succeed, they make tons of money. And then, we rinse and repeat. But we're all sort of grabbing at the same pot. And I think that, the better way to do it is not play this game and say, what can I actually do that's useful? And the answer to that is there's almost nothing. Everyone's tried to do... Yeah, it's lotto. I mean, it's
Okay, but do you have the same sentiment about Fartcoin that you have, or do you have the same sentiment towards Pepe or Mob that you have towards Fartcoin?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Well, yeah, we're here, we're just in different spaces and trying to do different things. It's like everyone's trying to make money and gambling on what might be the attention.
But there's only so much money, and to me, I sense an opportunity as a career short seller of, okay, so Fartcoin's getting attention. Great for Fartcoin. What does that mean for Dog with Hat? Does that mean Dog with Hat goes to 1 because nobody cares about it anymore? Because now people are on AI 16Z, they're on other AI.
That's the game that we're playing.
Well, no, that's from your perspective. Because you're long, that's cool for you. For me, I'm sitting there licking my chops, basically salivating at the prospect of Dog with Hat going to 10 cents. Because I can short it on Binance and cover it at 10 cents and watch all the Dog with Hat holders say, Dog with Hat is dead, let me move on to Fartcoin. And this is the easiest short in the world because who's going to buy Dog with Hat today? You'd much rather buy Fartcoin, but at least Fartcoin is going up. So to me, as a short seller, I love this. You can try to find the next Fartcoin and jump ship from all the other memes, but I bet you tons of people in here at one point owned Dog with Hat or still own it, and it's dead money. Nobody's going to resurrect that meme. So, to me, I
don't know. Anselm's going to put it on the biggest spear. So
that's right.
Martin, is it like this in
startups as well with the AI companies that are raising at ridiculous valuations? Like, how is that any?
No, because they grow revenue. So Perplexity is a company that a friend of mine manages, and he had $5 million in revenue. I remember when this happened. He had like a 500 million market cap. Then he had 10.
So many of those companies don't do any revenue.
Right. Well, that's why he did great. He had 5, then he had 10, then he had 20, then he had 50, and he's getting it. And a lot of these companies fold before they do $1 of revenue. And so the companies so hundreds of companies got their first 5-10 million, but only Perplexity's raised like $1 billion because he's been rewarded with success. He's been rewarded with actually delivering. Whereas I feel like it's obvious that he has revenue and earnings. Dogwoof had never had revenue and earnings; it just had more attention. And it's a finite sum. Attention also has a half-life, right? You have to keep doing stuff to get people interested, and that's so hard to do. Once you've sort of had your attention moment, you had your 15 minutes of fame. How do you make that 15 years of fame? It's not going to happen for any of these tokens. And I just hope they get listed so I can short them because there's only so much money in crypto, and it's there's not lots of new money coming to the space. And if it is, it's certainly not coming to me.
Looking for a 5-year or 15 plan on a new coin either. So
There's a big. I wanted to add too before we tap into the hands. Like Shkreli, I know it might be different with y'all's generation, but I don't know, Zoomer, Gen Alpha, a lot of us are coming into this space because there is this transfer of wealth. We understand attention, we understand the internet, and we're able, bro, we grew up on it, and after understanding money gets printed out of fucking thin air, you can literally play this game and potentially set yourself up for life. Yeah, there are chances of getting fucked over multiple fucking times, but bro, you can literally become tried and true in this space and potentially set yourself up for the long run, which, I don't know, you don't have the opportunity, bro, stock markets are controlled by a certain group of people. There's all these different markets that are controlled by these different groups of people, and we have the opportunity to be early, whether it's Bitcoin, meme coins, any of these altcoins, bro, we have that opportunity, and bro, it gives our generation a chance. Retirement might not be a possibility once I get to the age of 65 or even higher than that. Bro, there's all these things. I'm cringing as hard as I could possibly cringe because, at the end of the day, the people that are running these AI companies are in their 20s. They chose to learn linear algebra while you chose to learn Pepe. And some of them are billionaires. And, they're making useful software that people love and people are paying for. It's corporate software. It's not as fun as, meme coins, but it's real at the very least. And so, Warren Buffett joined an old person's game and then he became an old person. There's nothing new under the sun. The idea that we're in this new economy and crypto's this new thing and I don't have to go to work anymore and I can sleep all day long, wake up, trade a little bit and go back to sleep and become rich. I bet against that. I bet that hard work still matters, reputation still matters, intellect still matters.
That's not what people do though. They don't sleep all day and then trade a little bit. The ones that are doing it full time, they're 8-9 hours a day.
And I've said this before, those people ultimately would be fantastic traders in commodities. They'd be fantastic traders in bonds. They're just good traders. And so many people have made money in crypto. They're just good at trading. And they've uncovered a latent talent that would have worked in stocks. It would have worked in anything. It's just a financial asset like anything else. So I agree with you. I know tons of people that started off let me trade this. And it turns out after I meet them that their returns are really great and they're doing all the same risk management and deep diligence that would make sense in any financial market. So for sure, that makes a ton of sense. But a lot of people in those markets, I think, are, just very careful and very credible and are trading. They have a lot of trading kind of knowledge, whether they pick it up on the go or they learned it from somebody or both. For sure. Some of these people are very, very rich and good for them. But I don't think it's because of crypto. I think it's because they would have done just as well in any other space.
And just to add, bro, I'm not saying, I'm not a full-time trader by any fucking means. I trade and I'm just buying shit and I'm just pushing it off to the side for the most part. Bro, I think a lot of us, especially in this space, have jobs, full-time jobs that we're doing, and it's more a side thing. So I don't know. There are the select few who are able to do this on a day-to-day, just scan through charts 8-12 hours a day and actually be profitable. But for the most part, I think most people are just like buying and selling and just, I don't know, doing what they please while also balancing a social life, a work life, trying to balance all that other shit. But yeah, there are select few, and those are like the vocal minority that we do see in the space where they're trying to convince other people to, I don't know, trade full time in the space, but I mean, teach them.
It's fun, dude. Like, a lot of people just treat it like, you know, some people get off work and they go fucking hit the video lottery machine for a while, you know what I mean? Or like the fucking casino, like.
Or PolyMarket.
Just enjoy doing it.
I'm a PolyMarket addict now.
Yeah, but some people just like doing that.
That's one more thing on the topic of linear algebra. I actually fucking studied integrated physiology, brother. Not fucking linear fucking algebra, but I did definitely, bro. I did some fucking studying, brother. I did do that.
Right, sure. It's to start a company in that space and do really well. But no, in all seriousness, the PolyMarket is an unbelievable, use case for crypto. It's probably like up there after stable coins. It is like, and then speculation writ large. PolyMarket's just incredible. This is something that has staying power, that everyone I know that's tried it just loves it. And so many people are like, I don't care what I have to do to get on PolyMarket, but I don't care what Polygon is, I don't care what Memetic is. Just find me a way so that I can bet on this shit. And that's what, one crypto company that deserves a lot of credit. And I was a PolyMarket hater for a while, just for personal reasons, but I have to give credit where credit's due, that, they did an amazing job, and I'm fucking absolutely addicted to it. I'm a top 200, maybe even top 100 trader at this point on there, and it's just fucking great. There's no doubt about it. It's probably illegal, but that's another story. But it is an awesome tool that has taken a lot of look. It played a role in the election, for crying out loud. So that's an awesome thing that crypto did without being crypto necessarily. It was able to capture the world's imagination. So the more we get stuff like that, I think the better. The more we try hard to force it with a fart coin or force it with whatever else it is, it's, that's kind of lame. Now the problem is you can't make money on that. Everyone here would belong, a PolyMarket token, and they'll probably give one out at some point. But, we would have loved to have been there early days and make 1,000x. Some of us probably would have made 10,000x if we had that opportunity. We just didn't. So somebody made it and tried to force it down everyone's throat. I mean, that's.
Like if you want to buy it. It's like, I feel like it's not forced.
And that's the whole point of this space. Like, we have the freedom to transact. If we want to buy something, we can buy it. If we don't, we don't.
Exactly. The beauty of Bitcoin.
What's good though? Let's tap it on these hands. We'll go Mon, Moo, and then we'll tap it on P. What's good?
Yo, bro, hey, listen, with that PFD baby, with the belt and the hat, the glasses, it look like you put there work, boy. I feel like I love the branding,
All right, enough of that. That was more than enough. All right, so no galt. That just hung up. No goodbye. That was cringe. I mean, listen, people want to trade. It's like pink sheets and penny stocks and quantum stocks. It's just like something where people just kind of will throw money at anything. I don't know about bird flu. Probably not a big deal. I would have said the same thing about COVID. I think it did say the same thing about COVID.